All right, we are trying this again. Gonna see how this goes. Sorry, this is attempt number 2 at a live stream. I thought I was having audio problems, but was waiting for anybody to confirm, and people were real polite for like 25 minutes before anyone told me I had no audio. I should have audio now. It's showing on my screen that I have it, so once we have some viewers in, I'll know for sure. I'm actually gonna, while we're doing this, I'm gonna double check because I just realized I can totally do that. Go ahead and see if this is working a little bit better here. No chat people to confirm yet. Definitely going to have to clip the beginning of this video for YouTube because this is going to take way too long. All right, we're going to hop in. See, I am live. All right. All right. Hop in. See, I am live. All right. Good. All right. Okay, now we have audio. All right. So anyhow, yeah, this is going to be take number 2. Trying out a new setup here. Okay, got audio now. Thank you, Kerf. Yeah, this is attempt number 2. Made it 20 minutes in before anybody noticed there was no audio, and that's okay. I don't mind. First time with a new setup. This stuff's going to happen. But it's cool because now my setup's all fancy. I've got a little, I've got this cool scrolling. I've got multiple cameras I can jump between. We're gonna have a great time. All right, so I'm starting over entirely from the beginning. So the first thing I'm gonna cover is, to me, the most exciting, and it is the project I worked on with @Kerfloss, who's in the chat right now. This was something very cool. You know, I exist between a lot of different spaces on the internet. I have friends in Diz Twitter. I have friends in the internet wrestling community, obviously, friends in the monster truck world, and I've started to have inroads in toy making because of my experience making my own toys. For those terribly familiar, most of that started with the Perry Von Vicious monster truck. I'm gonna switch over to the close-up cam. We'll see if we keep audio when I do it. But yeah, the Perry Von Vicious monster truck toy with the little me coming out the window. This was sort of the first project. I'm sure Kerf will tell me in the chat if we've lost audio, but it, you know, rolls just like it should. It's to scale with other Hot Wheels, and that was sort of the beginning of yeah, little Perry there. That was sort of the beginning of toy making for me, and now it's kind of developed on to where I have some friends in that world, and @Kerf_Loss, Kerfloss, reached out to me. I'd been watching his stuff for a long time. I actually watched it while I was in Japan. I would watch his live streams on Instagram of him doing wax carving and wax sculpting, and it was just really cool and something I wished that I could do. He wound up reaching out to me. There was an art show coming up, the Wrestling Toy Federation art show on Instagram, saying that he had an idea for a human monster truck toy. The gimmick, the concept, the character just really lent itself to a cool idea, and I think he was right. I'm going to kill this one side light here because I discovered before the visual's not great. Once Kerf was done with the project and the entire, you know, the whole contest had come and gone, he sent me a bunch of finished toys of the final product, and we're going to show that here in a second. Now, I am going to have those for sale. Just making sure I have a few extra things to show off in a minute, so I want to make sure I have them at the ready. So the first thing is this is a casting of the body of the toy that he made. And with this, I'll be able to either mold it myself to make my own copies or possibly 3D scan it. I did recently purchase a 3D scanner for the first time, so I'm excited to try that out. That's a little tough to see because it's all white and it doesn't read on camera so much, but this is the body. And you can see I'm wearing the my entrance gear, and you know, it has so much detail, and it doesn't show here, but you'll see in a second because I do have the final toy and it is painted. I'm going to set these safely out of the way over here so nothing happens to them. And I'm even going to jump back to the other camera here because I want you to see this toy with some scale. I want you to see what this is like, because if you've seen my action figure, that's sort of how this started. Kerf took the figure that I designed and 3D printed that began life as the scanned STLs of an old Hasbro toy. And I altered it in Blender. I made it look more like me. And Kerf took it the next step. He cast it in wax, sculpted on it, and the final product has a great scale and heft to it. It is, roughly the height of a Hasbro toy still, but it is half human, half monster truck, and looks fantastic. Just such a cool toy. Really rolls and everything. It's self-balancing. The arms have a great fit, and you can adjust them and make them look different. I am going to hop over to the close-up cam. I want you to get a good view here. We'll see how the lighting is playing with it. Here we go. And this is the toy. And I'm going to bring it right up. You can really see he's really captured the sort of that I do on my entrance and in most of my promo pictures. And these were all hand painted by Kerf. He did that live on Instagram. And I can appreciate that because I do the same thing. This came out so cool. The Vicious across the front there, all the detail in the engine work, the weathering that went in, so it almost looks like grease stained. Just so awesome. And it does in fact roll just like you would hope it would. And it is self-balancing, so whenever it stops, it will come right back up and end up standing. I love this toy. I'm so excited. I know a couple people have reached out already. They want theirs. There's very few until I'm ready to make more. Again, I mentioned the fit of the pieces here with the arms. Getting a nice, perfect, clean fit like that then moves easily, but is tight enough that it doesn't shake loose or fall. That is intense work on the molding and casting side, and my hat's off to Kerfloss for that. This is a great piece. And to go with it, when I sell them, I designed a little stand so it doesn't roll off your shelf. It's very simple. It's got a little divot here that the tires sit in. And on one side it says the Human Monster Truck. On the other side it says Perry Von Vicious. You can decide which way you want it, kind of facing on the shelf. And essentially the way it works is he sits in there, and now he can't roll away. He's just stuck in the stand, but he can still wiggle around and self-right, and yeah, you still get the toy experience. I'm really pleased with that. So psyched to have it. I also, when I do sell those, they are going to come with a Kerfloss sticker. Be sure to go follow Kerf on Instagram. He's a great account, a great follow, @Kerf_loss. Every toy comes with one of those, and every toy comes with one of my hologram Perry Buddy stickers. These are new. Super happy with how these came out. The actual plush Perrys are sold out for the time being. I have new ones coming, but these ones are gone for now. But those stickers will come with the art toy. If you want one, go ahead, shoot me a DM. Let me know. I can ship. I'm happy to do that, and you can let me know there. Otherwise, check them out at the merch table at the next show where you see me. Dates are scrolling by below here. He also included a few other things in the package. And I have this sort of extra goodies box here. I'm just going to go over real quick some of the stuff, because there is a secret project he sent me that I can't wait to work on, but it is a secret. I can't talk about it just yet. He included the paints that he used for painting Perry. That way, if anything chipped in transit, I could touch them up, which is awesome, because, he knows I have paint and I do some of my own painting, but who wants to sit there and mix and match to try to get it just right? And the colors he picked were so perfect that having these is really nice. But he also included a sampler of what he does. He has a little company called Wax Lab Guys that he runs along with @Death and Strawberries, another wax sculptor, another toy maker on Instagram. And you'll see this is the Wax Sampler 2.0, your guide to sculpting wax. This box contains the following sculpting waxes, hand-blended to cast into fun shapes just for you. And I'm gonna show you what these are real quick, because it's so cool. That's there's their website. I want to make sure I get that on screen. You'll want to stop by and check it out, because even if you're not a toy maker, watching their process is amazing. It is so much fun. I can't recommend it strongly enough. I do want to show you what's inside here, though, because it's very cool the way they ship the different types of wax. So it comes. There's you know, some sort of sample bits here to work with, and you know, some cotton for keeping everything safe and and for polishing later on. But they have 3 different pieces here. This first one that's pink, you'll notice, is a stormtrooper. Looks an awful lot like a stormtrooper, and that's because it is a cast copy of a Kenner stormtrooper. This is the Kenner wax. This is the kind of sculpting wax that they used at Kenner Toys when they would design these Star Wars figures that we all grew up with. Very cool to have a little of that, get to try that out. All these waxes have their own different properties. They all behave a little differently, so I'm really excited to sort of dive in and try these out. This next one, this gray one, you can see is another Star Wars casting. This is the Hensey wax, originally used by Scott Hensey. He shares his recipe publicly, and has a great YouTube and Instagram account where you can see some of his work. If you're not familiar, he sculpted the Ninja Turtles, the Toxic Crusaders, a lot of very cool toy lines that I grew up with. So this is very awesome. Very excited to see. I have that to try out. And then the last one here is very recognizable. That is Chewbacca, and that is the Hasbro wax, which is of course modeled closely after the wax used by Hasbro Toys for sculpting their toy prototypes. So I'm very excited to work with these. You know, digital sculpting has been my medium thus far, because it was what was accessible to me. But now with the addition of a 3D scanner to my plethora of expensive toys for making other toys, I can now sculpt my own toys, scan them, and then 3D print them so that you know, I can speed up the process or do prototypes or what have you. So yeah, really excited to dive in and give all those a shot. I'm going to pack all this back up here. Again, there is another secret project that he sent along, but I'm not going to get into that just yet. That one's going to be a surprise for another day. All right, I'm going to hop back onto main cam here. All right, so the next thing I have, I tweeted out a little while back that I had lost control of my life and was considering starting to collect Pogs. If you don't remember Pogs, it's okay. You might be too young, or you might have just not been into them. But I was. Pogs were really popular in the early 90s. They had a very short period of time where they were very popular. And what Pogs were, well, we'll get into that in a sec. To finish the story, I tweeted out that I was thinking of collecting Pogs. And a local wrestling fan from the Northeast here, a frequent fan at Wrestling Open, Mr. Adam Cardoza, reached out to me and said, "Perry, I have a bag of 200 Pogs that I would be happy to gift you." Who was I to say no? They were on my mind. I wanted to see them. I wanted to play with them. So he did. He was kind enough to gift them to me. I haven't been at Open in a little while, but he was kind enough to hand them off to Ichiban number 1. Brought them to me at Tetsu Pro in Connecticut. So I've been sitting on these for a little while and haven't really dug into them much. I kind of glanced at them a little, but I wanted to save it for on camera. Although this is take 2, so you won't get my genuine reaction, I suppose. So I did promise Adam that when I did plug him on here for gifting me these awesome Pogs, I would mention his band at DNA's Evolution. You should definitely check them out. That's at DNAS Evolution. You can find them on Twitter. give them a listen. I checked out a couple tracks. I thought they're great. Definitely check them out. Adam's a cool dude who hooked me up with 200 Pogs for Perry. And you see this is from a site called AI Garage Sale. Apparently the way AI Garage Sale works is you bargain and barter with an AI chat bot, and whatever price you settle on for the thing you want is what you pay. Honestly, that sounds kind of awesome. I'm glad it exists because now I have 200 Pogs. So we're gonna check them out. Like I said, I haven't looked at these with too much detail, but like I said, there's a lot. It might not look like it through the Wile E. Coyote cam, but there are a lot. I'm gonna dump out a pretty good pile here. So Pogs were essentially little cardboard circles with designs on them, and the idea was that there was a game with these where you and your friends would pile all your Pogs face up, and once you had amassed a pretty decent pile, you could play with one other person, with a couple other people. Everyone would take turns then taking a slammer. A slammer was another disc about the same size, but rather than being thin cardstock, it was thicker plastic, maybe a 1/4 inch, 1/8 inch plastic or metal in some cases. And you would have your pile there, and you would take a slammer and you would whack it at the pile, and whatever, when they all blew up all over the place, any that flipped over you got to keep, and they came out of the pile. Then everyone restacked the pile and the next person got to go. And if you wanted to try to get more, if you were throwing the slammer and not getting a lot, you could put yours back in the pile in the hopes that it would cause more to flip over, and you could always get back in. That's how the game was played. What was interesting about Pogs is there weren't a lot of great IPs attached to them. There were a series of Pogs that McDonald's gave out with Happy Meals that had the Power Rangers. That's sort of one of the more popular ones you hear about. There were some Pog series with different IPs attached, but not many. And you'll see on all these, they don't have any like really recognizable characters. You know, this is your brain. We got a guy doing some skateboard tricks. Yep, skate brain. Kind of a cool design. Slamming, and it's a cool skater kid. This one has like a evil clown, and you would often see in the art for these 8 balls. And yeah, here's the other. You would see ones that said poison, and you would see a lot of skulls and eyeballs. Those were sort of, yeah, here we go, Lady 8, and it's the Statue of Liberty with 8 balls. You would see a lot of, you know, more eyeballs. You would see a lot of these sort of recurring themes. And because there was no real IP attached to it, it wasn't part of like a cartoon series or anything, a lot of kids, like me and my brother, for example, sort of made up lore around them where you just decided like, oh, the ones that say poison, those are special. Or oh, the 8-ball ones, those are all the ones that I like to collect. You know, everyone had their favorites. You know, there definitely were some other ones. You know, I think there was a series of Pogs for a lot of different things. You know, I recently saw a Bigfoot the Monster Truck Pog online, and I got to try to hunt that down for my monster truck collection. But yeah, they're just kind of a neat and dumb toy, and I'm glad to have these. Thank you so much to Adam Cardoza. Again, shout out DNA's Evolution on Twitter. You can check out that band. That is Adam Cardoza's band, who gifted me this bag of 200 Pogs for Perry. I got obsessed with Pogs a couple weeks back before all this, and started thinking that I might need my own Pogs. I might need Perry Von Vicious Pogs for the merch table. I have found a place that can make them, so it's just a matter of putting together some designs. I have some ideas, and for the slammers, you know, right over my shoulder, I got a little army of 3D printers, so pretty easy for me to make slammers. So who knows, maybe coming to a merch table soon. I certainly hope so, because they were something I really enjoyed in my childhood, and you know, just like just like the Hot Wheels truck, where I was reliving a cool part of my childhood by making a piece of merch with me in it. Having my own Pogs would be pretty cool, I think. So, could be coming soon. For now, I'm gonna zip this up, keep them fresh, set them out of the way. All right. So now, just yesterday, I was at NCW in Bristol, Rhode Island. Had a great match, won my match, not always a guarantee, and came out without a scratch or scrape on me, which that's the dream, because in just 48 hours I will be in Disney World, so I needed to be healthy. Before I went, though, a fan reached out to me, a fan from Rhode Island reached out to me and said, hey, I'm trying to get rid of all my old vintage monster truck toys. Is there any chance you want them? Yeah, I think there's a pretty good chance I want them. So I said yes, and he sent me a picture, and it looked like some small boxes, you know, maybe 15 or 20 toys, which is a lot of toys, especially for free. And then I got there, and I saw what he actually had, and it's pretty awesome, because these were big boxes full of toys. This is actually a pretty good sized box when you consider it's just got toy trucks in it. It's still brimming, and I've pulled all the ones that I'm really dead set on having in my collection or restoring. So a lot of these may end up being free giveaways. If you order one of the art toys, I might throw something in, a little surprise, who knows. You know, ask me about them. I might hook you up. But it wasn't just this box. It was all of those boxes. It was a lot of toys, and they were heavy. Like I said, I have pulled the ones that are really interesting and really cool. So we're going to go through them now, because I'm so excited to take a look at these. Last night when I got home from the show, you know, I got home just a little before midnight. I was probably up till 1:30 in the morning digging through these boxes and just geeking out over these awesome toys. So I'm so excited to be able to share these with you. I've sort of separated them into some flats here that I can pull from. And yeah, let's take a look. I'm gonna go ahead and switch to the Wile E. Coyote close-up cam. And yeah, there's a few of these that I don't even really know what they are, what company they are, but they just struck me as being so cool. Now these this box are the ones that are slightly bigger than normal scale. You know, this is the Perry truck. That is Hot Wheels scale. That is the same size you get in stores today. For a little race car, this is definitely bigger scale than the monster truck. You know, it should be significantly smaller if it was to scale. But this is a really cool piece, and I don't really know a lot about it. It feels like, I can't tell if it is a pullback, if it's broken. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it wants to pull back. It's not a rev forward. There is something going on in there. It could be a busted up one. Yeah, it doesn't look like it opens up for batteries or anything. No moving suspension parts, but it does have rubber tires with a good squish. They sort of have a monster truck tread on them, which I wouldn't mind scanning those for a future model, because they've got the little RC nubs all over them. But yeah, this one really jumped out at me. I don't know anything about it. I've not been able to find a lot of useful information for any company. Made in China is pretty much the best I get off the bottom here. But this is just a really cool piece. It's definitely staying in the collection. So now we can move on to the pull. Well, first we'll take a look at this one, which I haven't been able to find a ton of info. I do know, of course, Snakebite, part of the Bigfoot clan. That classic snake body, one of the first shaped 3D concept fiberglass monster trucks. This has a super low profile, but it looks like it's meant to, it looks like there's two pieces here that are meant to scissor out, and it's supposed to get taller. It has this sort of kickstand piece that I don't really know what it's for, that kind of magnets back down. I gotta look this one up and figure out, because this stance is not very monster truck, not what the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast would call toyetic. So I got to figure that out. The cover on the back, the tonneau cover, feels like it's actually like a fabric, which is really kind of strange. There is a little bit of suspension move in these pieces, so I know it does something, but I don't know what. And it is scaled very different from a Hot Wheels. It's considerably larger, so it goes with the rest of these. These are all the old pullbacks. The company that made these was called, I think, Maisto, something like that. But these were sort of like the CVS specials. You would see these on the racks at CVS back in the 90s and the 80s. I'm trying to see if there's a year on this anywhere. I don't even think there is. But yeah, considering these were toys from this guy's childhood, these were in incredible shape. I mean, look at this. There's not really a scratch on this thing. But like I said, it is a pullback. It will take off if you pull it back. I believe it is even, yeah, it is. It's 4-wheel drive pullback. And it's to scale with the other ones here. So let's take a look at some of the other ones. We got this Mad Dog. Not officially like the Mad Dog monster truck, but a weird Jeep. I'm guessing this used to have a roll cage that snapped off. You can sort of see where it would have attached there, and there is no roll cage now. But the bumpers are intact. I could 3D print a roll cage if I find a reference photo online. But yeah, it also, the pullback on it doesn't work that great. Could be because this one axle is so bent. But, you know, that's pretty easily fixed. Some of these are going to need a little tinkering to get them up to 100%. But, again, another one where the paint job looks fantastic. Like, that's going in the collection. It looks beautiful. We got this one, the Torpedo. Now, I don't know if the color is really coming across to you how much it pops, but this is a hot orange pullback monster truck. Sort of like one of those Beachcomber Baja Jeeps. It's got a little bit of a bend here, and I'm guessing there was a clip-on piece back here that's missing. Couple little paint chips, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. Pullback function is not what it once was. Sort of works standing, but this back axle doesn't want to go. Good enough to go on a shelf, though, I'll tell you that. And with a little bit of 3D printing, I can add the back piece here. Maybe put a little driver inside. I think that'll be good in the collection. We got this the Blues Crusher, which appears to be the same body type as Torpedo, I think. Very similar. Yeah, this one also missing whatever piece came off the back. Maybe there wasn't a piece, and that's why they're both missing. But yeah, another one, pretty good shape. And let's see, does it? How's the function? Not great. Needs a little coercing, and yeah, you can tell those axles are a little bent. But you know, I don't mind a beat up toy, especially. I mean, it looks great until it moves, so that's a good one for the shelf. And last, and this is the one I was really excited about when I saw it. This was a surprise. I didn't know this would be in the set. The only actual IP monster truck from these series, Sudden Impact. I remember watching Sudden Impact on TV. A great truck, you know, one that still had a race team until very recently, and maybe they still do, and I haven't heard from them in a while, but it's in great shape. Yeah, there's the company name, Maisto. Really, really good shape. The hood, monster truck team. Yeah, really, really nice. And this one, I believe, yeah, still functions. Not a lot of bend in those axles. Yeah, love to see that. So I'm gonna throw these back in their flat, set them out of the way for now, and we'll get on to the 1/64th scale, the sort of the classic canonical Hot Wheels Matchbox scale monster truck toys. All right, I got a few things to move out of the way here. All right. So this next flat, let's see, trying to figure out what order I want to go in here. Let's save that one for last. Doing a little shuffling live on the air, folks. Move that one over there. Bring this one over here. Okay. So this particular flat, this is a lot of toys. I'm going to pull a few things. We're going to take a look at a couple things, and then it's all going to go back in. We'll go to the last one. So in here, there's a couple standalone pieces. This is, of course, the chassis on the travel tires of the Bigfoot Shuttle or Bigfoot Fast Tracks monster tank. It took me forever to add one of these to my set. because these are not common. These are hard to find, especially with the tank treads. This one didn't come with tank treads or tires. Up in my collection upstairs, I have one on tires, and I have another one with the tank treads. Now with that 3D scanner, I believe I can scan those tank treads, take measurements off of this and off of them, and probably 3D print my own replacements and have a second Bigfoot Fast Tracks in the collection. This one stays with me. I'm so psyched to have it. One of the first things that jumped out of me in the whole box. So these next ones, well, I'll show some of the boring stuff first. This is just a Monster Jam, I believe from when it was still Hot Wheels. Yeah, still Hot Wheels making the toy. Mechanical Mischief. This one's all beat up and all dirty, and you know, the only reason I kept it in the I Might Keep box is because it is 1/64th scale with the others. This may end up being a free giveaway as well. You know, we'll see. All right, so the next thing I'm going to show in here, a couple pretty cool things. The old attack packs, and a couple different styles of attack pack. I have a few of these upstairs in my collection that I was just looking at to 3D print some missing parts. And this one in particular, I have upstairs already. I have one of these upstairs. And I am going to 3D print the replacement parts and finish this off and make it nice and new. And then I'll have two of these, and maybe I'll sell one. Maybe they both stay with me. Who knows? But attack packs, you'll know, are the oh boy, yeah, this one, yeah, there it goes. Has the little rah 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 mouth that does that. Now this one is missing the tow hook that goes in this back part here, which I have another toy missing the same piece, so I'm gonna 3D print a replacement for that so that I now have a full piece. But it's also come detached from the front of the chassis here. This is supposed to stay attached so it can slide to here but no further. So this is supposed to be the movement, is just to here, like that. But because it's come detached, it can now wildly swing open, and this can fall everywhere. And yeah, I got to take a look at the other piece and see how it's supposed to look. But I can fix that. I can fix that. But I mean, what a toy, right? What a look on that. The old school monster truck with those deep tread mutter tires. Very cool. Happy to have a second one of these. Again, a lot of what's in here are going to be doubles for me because I have a pretty extensive collection. This also, I believe, is part of the Attack Pack series, but it is a very simple version. This may have been like a McDonald's toy. I'm gonna try to read the bottom here. Yeah, it is made by Hot Wheels, 1993 from Mattel, but this is not of the quality that they would sell in stores. I think we can all agree. This is sort of a not so great plastic, you know, open axles there. You know, this is not the kind of look you see from their work. But it does. It has the little movement. Body appears to be maybe a shark or some kind of whale. It's got fins and then rah rah rah. But that's pretty cool. I'm happy to have that. I might decide I'm going to treat these like travel tires, and I might try to 3D print some full-size monster truck tires that can slip on over it, sort of the way the shuttle works. I think that would be pretty cool. Really make it look like it belongs with the other attack packs, because right now there's a size discrepancy there. I don't like that, and I'm open to customizing these. These are not toys that I'm particularly worried about their canonical incarnations. So those are the attack packs. All right, I'm just double checking to make sure I'm not jumping ahead here. All right, so there were also a number of my favorite toy line, my favorite toy truck line of all time, the Matchbox Superchargers. These are what I grew up with. These were what had my heart. They're exactly what I modeled the original Perry truck after. And you'll see it when I hold one of these up. You'll see that tire size and shape, incredibly similar. The stance, the height, the scale, the width. I really wanted my toy to harken back to the toys I grew up with. And I'm very pleased with how those came out. But there's a number of these. I have a fairly complete set of these. There are color variants I don't have. There is one UK exclusive toy from the series that I don't have that one day I may get. But otherwise, I have all of the Matchbox Superchargers. So I'm not going to cover these in depth. I'm just going to point out some that are a little broken, some that have some parts I may keep and work from. But at the very least, I have these all that I can sort of tinker with them and 3D scan them if I need to. Like this one's broken. It's missing. There's supposed to be 2 headlights on the front here, and those are no longer intact. That's okay. Got the from the Mud Racers part of the series, the Hog. This one has a very bent axle that'll need some attention, some love paid to it. Have the So High truck, again, some bent axles, some chips. It was well loved, well played with. I will say a lot of these toys he gave me are in great shape, considering it wasn't just him who played with them. The fan who gifted these to me mentioned to me that his son played with these, and he was now cleaning out his toy collection, and that's where these came from. So these were played with by 2 generations. Considering that, they're in pretty good shape. This is also missing the two headlights on the front, same as this one. Interesting. I had never noticed the similarity in the mold on these until just now. That's really interesting. All right. Also from the Mud Runner series, we have the I believe this is I forget what this one was called. They're all sort of fictional, but the roll cage is let's see if we can get that on camera. The roll cage is all bent and snapped, so I'm gonna have to either fix that one or 3D print a fresh one. I do have my toy of this upstairs that I can use for reference. Yeah, I love the short stance on this, very short wheelbase. It does, the engine's broken, it's missing a blower on one side. But, you know, these toys being free and being for essentially parts for my own work, I'm fine with that. Now here's a color variant I didn't have. I don't have any of the wheel color variants for the Matchbox Superchargers, so I'm probably going to hang on to this. This is Mudslinger from the Mud Racers series, Mudslinger 2. Sort of the Gatorade colors on here, I'm not really sure. But these highlighter yellow tires really stand out. Very cool. We're going to see some cool color choices as we go on with these toys, but this one in particular is one that I think is very cool. Again, a lot of bent axles, a lot of loose parts, but still would look pretty good on a shelf. All right, continuing on with these superchargers, we got the Bog Buster from that same series. This one, honestly, roll bar is in great shape. The body is not too dinged up considering it was played with by 2 generations. Wheels are clean and crisp. Only issue is that motor, again, missing a blower on one side, and this one's really bent. I don't know if he did that on purpose. We'll see he did a little bit of toy customizing, so that may be what that is. But the other one snapping off, I think, is strictly from play. And, you know, honestly, when a toy's banged up from play, that's okay. That's that toy's story. And I'd rather know it was played with than just sat on a shelf for 30-something years. Yeah, 1985 Matchbox. All right. So next we have the 57 Chevy from that same Mud Racer series. Has the hood that opens so you can look inside and see the engine. Love that. The paint on this, you know, it's seen better days, but it's pretty solid. The axles don't have a lot of bend in them. Still rolls pretty clean on those treads. So yeah, happy to have that in the collection. Still has both of the you'll see these the blowers that run alongside under the door here. Those are known to fall off of these. Those are some of the first things to go. So still being on here, pretty happy with that. All right. And the last of the superchargers he included is a Mad Dog 2 that is missing a front axle and generally kind of pretty beat up. I may hang on to this. I may 3D print a new axle that I can attach in here with a new set of tires. And this may be, boy, I hate to do a lot of repaints on these old toys, but I've always wanted a no problem in this scale, and this might have to be it. When I was a kid, this was my no problem when I raced my toys as a kid. I always said this was no problem. No problem was more prominent on TV. By this time, Mad Dog had been morphed into that kind of Franken truck that we all saw that looked more like a Jeep, where they had cut off most of the top part, sort of an open cab. So this version of Mad Dog was not really in my world when I was a kid. But yeah, I don't mind a beat up toy. I've got a lot. Alan Nadu from Twitter and from local wrestling shows. He gifted me a bunch of beat up toys that I'll fix up one day. Getting to those, I swear. All right, so the next group of these that he gifted me, these are from a French toy maker called Majorette. These were also, I always consider these sort of the CVS special, because that was where I always saw them and where I picked them up. So a lot of these will be doubles of ones that I have. Like I do have heavy metal already, but this one is in remarkably good shape. Look how shiny it is. You can see there's some, paint chipped here and there, and that's going to happen. You can sort of see there's a green underpainting that I never would have guessed was on this toy, but it's there. And wow, on that camera you can even see into the cab a little. Looks really nice. I love that the hood opens. You can look inside and see the little molded engine compartment on this. The tow hitch is a little beat up, but it's still there. Yeah, nothing's too bent up. These break very easy. The axles on these are very thin, very frail. They're always missing tires. You see a lot of these with missing tires. I think even a couple that came in this set are missing them. But yeah, rolls nice and smooth. You'll love to see it on a toy that's that old. I mean, does this have a year on it? It does not. Made in France, Majorette. All right. So next they have this sort of USA flag Majorette, a shorter wheelbase truck. I always had this one growing up. It still has both of the headlamps are still here from the roll cage. Those are some of the first to go. One of the siren lights on the top, I don't know if that'll read on camera, is snapped off and missing. So that's a shame. But I might be able to fix that. And you will see, like I said, a lot of them are missing tires. So yeah, I'm glad to have these though, because with the 3D scanner, I can scan these and see if I can't get them to fit. Let's see. Nice how the load in the truck bed is cast along with the engine block. Yeah, I always loved that on these. The way that they did the individual pieces for each thing was very cool, so that it would sort of snap together with just 3 different little cast pieces. A really interesting design technique, and of course, who would know better than the people who do it professionally with large companies. It's an easy way to add a color. That's right, because you can cast in multiple colors. Yeah, on the red and green here, you get that red body, but you have the I don't know if you can see in the cab, everything in the cab is green. There is a steering wheel and bench seat in there, which is pretty cool. And then we've got the engine compartment, the back load, all the way back to the trail hitch is green. So I do love the way that they made these toys work. Essentially, with the white pieces for the hubs, the black rubber tires, the untreated metal for these. It's got to be stainless if it hasn't rusted in 40 years. But then the red body and the green details. Yeah, just a great design. So they did, as this series went on, they did get crazier with the colors. I don't know if it's going to read on camera, but this is a bright orange. Really stands out. This one, like I said before, those headlamp pieces disappear. This one of them's been snapped off. This is the same body style as the USA truck, and you can really see it as you look around on it. It doesn't have the hole back here. That's an interesting difference in the casting. This hole that shows the sort of different colored interior is missing. But other than that, it's got the same kind of divots everywhere. Yeah, it looks like a very slight variation. Maybe could be an old Chevy Silverado based on that grill. But yeah, I love this crazy monster. I love the color variant. The flames are very cool. Still very shiny all these years later. It's it's a little beat up, but a toy that tells a story. It's hard to hate that. This one, the trailer hitch is intact. We've got the full hitch there. That's very cool. All right, and now I mentioned he did, the previous owner definitely did a little bit of customizing on these, and I'm not sure how to go about fixing them or if I want to just leave it. So this, he has painted blue. This did not start its life blue. He did paint around the four-wheel drive logo on the front. So it kind of looks like this may have been a yellow, or yeah, it's hard to say what the original color was that's kind of next to that. It's sort of a bronzy yellow. I do see that the interior is yellow, and you can tell that on the trailer hitch piece here. That's pretty yellow. But yeah, this, I can read what he's written here with Sharpie. It does appear that he was trying to fit the word equalizer in there. So he was trying to make this look like the old blue equalizer truck. So he was doing what I did. He was doing what I did, where he wanted, where Mad Dog was my no problem. He wanted equalizer. He didn't have it, but he had some blue paint and a Sharpie. So he gave it his best shot, and you can't hate on him for that. You will see, this does have one of the, if you look at the tires here, has a Matchbox supercharger tire on there, because like I said, these tires came off all the time. So he lost one and took one off of an old, probably from the axle missing on this guy, and replaced it. And you could always tell, because these ones, I don't know if the text will come through, it just says Super 4x4 Radial. But this one, the superchargers, they had contracts with name brands. It's the Goodyear logo on there. So yeah, pretty interesting to see that. In the majorettes, boy, I'm not sure exactly what happened here. If this was buried or underwater for a long time. It looks like it may have been yellow at one point. He may have tried to do some paint removing, but this one, the front axle does not turn, does not move. It is jammed up but good. There is some nasty corrosion and stuff on this. It appears to be down to bare metal. I am not sure totally what happened here. Yeah, you can see some corrosion on the back there. I don't know what he did to this, but yeah, it's going to take some doing for me to make this nice again. I may customize this and paint it as something else. The back that opens is pretty stuck to the point where I don't want to move it. I don't want to break that plastic. But I don't know if you'll see on camera, they do have like a load of stuff inside there. Bench seats in the back, a whole cab that you can see into. Yeah, it'd be a shame for this to go away. There's still so many that, that front grille has great detail. I'd hate for this to just be thrown away. So I think I'm probably going to put some work into this. I'm going to watch some videos. You can see there's clips here for how it's taken apart. There's a rivet on the front. I can drill that out. Probably take this apart, clean it off real good. Might have to throw the body in some like paint remover, rust remover, and see if we can't get it down to bare metal and just start over. It does have the clear glass. The others all have tinted glass. This one's clear. So yeah, I would really hate to not be able to make something of this, because it is, these toys are so cool. And even the beat up ones, I want to save. It's how I am. All right, let's swap back to the IRL cam while I pack these back into their box so that we can move on to the next set here, because I do have more to show. Because boy, what a haul! What a haul! So generous of fans like this to just gift me stuff, because they really don't have to do that. But at this point, I think I've connected with a lot of fans in a way where I've kind of reminded them of something from their childhood. Every little kid, little boys, little girls, everybody when they're little has that brief period where they find monster trucks to be fascinating. And why wouldn't they? They're huge cartoony versions of the same cars and trucks that their parents drive. And they're out there crushing cars that look like the cars their parents drive. It's perfect. It's exactly what you want as a kid. It's superheroes in car form and no one gets hurt. It's destructive, but in a way where no one is hurt. And there's such artistry in them, with their funny names, Mad Dog, the paint jobs, the flames, everything about them. it's just so cool, and I'm so glad that when people find things like this sitting around their house, they think of me. I get messages all the time. If someone sees a monster truck out in the wild, shout out Ron Loves Music on Twitter. He's helps out with Blitzkrieg Pro. He saw a monster truck parked at a local off-road shop, pulled over, took pictures, sent them to me. It was like 7 in the morning, but he saw it and he thought of me, and I love that. I love that that's sort of where we've wound up with this stuff. All right. Swap out for the last flat of toys, because if you can believe it, there's more. And again, I can't stress enough, these were free gifts from a fan. It's just so cool. All right. So with these, there's a mix of a few different toy types and a lot of crazy colors. I've been trying to keep it off camera to not give it away because these are wild looking. A lot of these are doubles. Some of them are doubles to themselves, and some of them are doubles to ones I already have. But I love them. They're colorful and crazy and weird. So inspiring for future toys that I'll make. I'm going to switch to the close-up cam and we can go through these. First of all, there were some toys in here that were not necessarily monster trucks. They were just regular trucks, and they do appear to be all Matchbox. You know, something like this that looks almost like it would have been the kind of truck that some guy would have driven to go see the monster truck shows. I love that, and I want to, hey, Grizzly Raid, Grizzly's here. Welcome, welcome, Grizzly Kid, coming in from his charity stream going on over there. Raising awareness for Mental Health Connecticut, if I recall correctly. Everyone should check out Grizzly Kid. Grizzly Kid 4 does some cool charity streams a couple times a year. But yeah, some of the toys that were included in this last flat are not monster trucks, but they're trucks that feel like they're from that same early era of monster trucks. And I'm just going to show them off very quickly. They're all Matchbox. I'll take a look and see if we can get a year on these. 1981 for this Mountain Man monster truck with that cool forest drawn on the front. Roll bar still intact. You know, the paint is a bit beat up. It's seen better days, but rolls smooth. You know, I mean, I tend to not collect a ton of regular Hot Wheels, but or Matchbox in this case. I think I'm probably keeping these. This one is a double. I do have this one already. I just said I don't collect them. I do have one of these already. I always thought this looked like it would have been a racing off-road truck. Harkens to monster trucks, but not strictly a monster truck. Here's another one that I feel the same way about. Very similar casting, in fact, just with this sort of expanded roll bar, which for a thin little piece of plastic is in great shape, considering this truck was made in 1981. So yeah, in great shape. BF Goodrich written on there. Yeah, a lot of real name brands mentioned on some of these older toys. All right, we got this is one I had seen online and had debated over a couple times at flea markets. The Aspen Ski Holidays truck. Aspen Ski Holidays. Love that. So cool. Doing good, Grizzly Kid. Good. Glad to see you. Thanks for stopping in. I'm unboxing some toy trucks that were gifted to me by a fan in Rhode Island, and yeah, some real gems in here. A lot that are just gonna stay in my collection, I think. Now this one's very different. Like, what a weird, and especially up next to the other Matchboxes, a weird stance, a weird build. It's kind of wider than the others. I'm not really sure what the story is with this one, but I love the way it looks. The Baja Pouncer. And let's see, what year? Do we have a year on this one? It's hard to tell on some of these old ones. They get pretty beat up. Yeah, I don't even see a year marked on here anywhere. Toys U, Flare Side Pickup Matchbox, made in, and I can't even read the country it's made in. That's not a good sign. 1982, there is a year on there. 1982, just a couple years older than I am. All right, and then last in that, again, it's a very similar style. I think it's virtually the same as the Aspen truck, but with a roll bar and a slightly different paint job. Very basically exactly the same as as Mountain Man, just with a different paint job. But a really crisp paint job on this. Not a scratch on it, considering this has been played with by 2 generations of kids. And let's see if there's a year. Yeah, 1981. 1981. Look at that. Not a, I mean, one little ding, but not a scratch to be found. That is beautiful. All right, so I'm very happy with those. There was this included as well, which definitely feels a little more monster truck. Let's see. Grizzly Kid says, our charity's been doing great. Hey, that's awesome. I was just mentioning your charity stream, and I'm so glad to hear. I hope you've been killing it over there. What year is this? This is definitely a more modern toy. But yeah, not even a great company listed for this one. This one kind of looks more like a monster truck. Like maybe you could convince me this is a mega truck just based on scale, because next to a standard monster truck that's scaled for those, this is pretty small. So far, you made over $420. Hey, if you've been thinking about it, go ahead and make a donation over for Grizzly Kid 4, raising awareness for raising money for Mental Health Awareness Connecticut. So far, up to $420. He's been streaming all weekend. He's got one more day to go, if I recall. Right, streaming on Monday. So yeah, that's gonna be that's great. I'm so glad you do that. I'm so happy that it's going well. All right, we got just a few more to go over. I've been keeping these off to the side because these are so crazy looking. These are so colorful, so cool. These are all sort of off-brand trucks, not Hot Wheels, not Matchbox, not even Majorette. Some of them might be Road Champs, but that's a pretty, that's a C-level brand. I'm going to slide them into frame here. These are awesome. They're so colorful and crazy. Again, like I said, there's some doubles in here. Some of them are doubles of toys that I do already have. But they're just so great. They tend to have a bit of a lower stance than the standard at the time. The standard when these were made was definitely the Matchbox Supercharger, which you can see definitely a higher stance on the Supercharger, but they are wider. Like these are definitely wider than the Supercharger. But these are so great. Now this does say, okay, this is Roadrunner is what it's labeled as. So this would be the Roadrunner toys. You can see it on the tire there, Roadrunner. And it's a great little toy. It's very bare bones. There's no cab inside. There's no payload in the back. It is molded with a truck bed back there. So this piece could probably pop off if you wanted to. But yeah, real low stance, really wide wheelbase, kind of a short wheelbase truck. And again, this, I mean, 2 generations of kids played with these. These are toys from the 80s or early 90s. This particular company does not appear to put dates on their trucks, but I do remember having these when I was little. Not a scratch anywhere. Just amazing. And I'll show, these roll like a dream. I mean, you can listen carefully. Oh, so soft, so quiet. That's that, it's got a very specific tread type. The treads really vary depending on which brand of toy that you had. You had the Majorettes that had the sort of offset, very rubbery, sticky tire. You can kind of hear it rubs like an eraser. Then you had the Matchbox Superchargers Mudder series that have these sort of deep mud treads, and when they roll, you hear them. And then the Matchbox Superchargers, the classic monster truck tread, that sort of the overlapping, pointed down. And these are only a little bit of noise. And these ones, rather than having the offsets poking out like the Majorettes have, these are sort of in. And it creates, you can sort of see on the edge of the tire here, it's a very flat edge. There's not a lot of tread actually changing on the plane here. So when I push it, it's so quiet, so quiet. Yeah, let's get a look at what we have in this set now that we've sort of looked at their stance and what they're built like. So this is a truck with a sort of covered bed, black and green. On the front here, it says Des GN PR something TIN. Yeah, there's a lot of like letters missing. I don't know if this is gonna, if we'll be able to focus here. But I'm guessing it's supposed to say Design Prime Time or something to that effect. Very hard to tell. But yeah, really nice, smooth toy. Really like that one. So yeah, I'm trying to separate these series to series because there are some differences. Oh, that's interesting. All right, we're gonna save that and take a look at that. So yeah, some of these are the same series. You know, this is a double of the same truck for sure. Same exact toy, except look at the tire mold. It's subtle. It's subtle. These are offset from each other. This is a straight line. You can see that's straight line all the way across. This is not. It's a very subtle difference, but to me that means a lot because listen to this roll. You put that on a track, it's going to roll forever, nice and smooth. You put this on a track, I'm willing to bet. Yeah, sounds like those the Mutter tires on the Matchbox Superchargers. That's really interesting. Yeah, this also says Roadrunner, so same company, different tread style. I never knew that. I was today years old when I started learning this about these particular toy trucks. All right. Grizzly Kid says, gotta go get some sleep. Been streaming for 7 hours each day this whole weekend. Wow. Have a great night. I will. You have a great night too, Grizzly Kid. Thank you for stopping in. Thank you for the raid. Always happy to see you. Have a great rest of your charity stream. Everyone check him out. Grizzly Kid 4 on Twitch. Doing some very cool charity streams. All right, so this is another model where we see the same thing on these tires. Offset, straight line across. Just crazy. So this one, smooth and quiet, and this one's gonna rumble. But other than that, you see it's so we got this van, sort of a highlighter yellow, it's really bright with purple tires. You know, again, very bare bones. There's no cab on the inside. I can see it through the window. I don't know if it'll read on camera, but it's just empty in there. Yeah, these are very bare bones. These, again, would have been CVS toys. You know, these would have been very cheap when I was a kid. Maybe 50 cents, maybe 99 cents a piece. I'm not even sure if these came carded or if these came loose. Yeah, I wish I knew more about this company Roadrunner. Other than they're Roadrunner and they were made in China. That's all I know. I'm going to have to do a little research on these. But I love, love, love the way they look. Again, no scratches on this paint. And these are old toys. You know, I had these when I was little. And again, these were played with by 2 generations in this fan's family. So that's crazy. All right. We got this green and blue with sort of the green and blue tires. Very similar to our first truck. I think it's the same casting. I think we can safely say that is, in fact, the same cast, with the only difference being this one has the covered bed piece attached and this one does not, but you can see all the little latch where it would attach on there. And there's even holes for possibly a roll bar of some type on a different casting. So yeah, pretty sure. And this one has those the rumble tires. So this one, very similar again to that first one. A lot of the same colors, but this sort of 80s, 90s party design. Kind of looks like the streamers your parents might have got for your birthday party as a kid in the 80s or 90s. And yeah, again, we kind of covered this already with the first one we saw like this, so I won't spend too much time on it. This one has sort of the same idea as this guy, but with different, sort of just a different color wave of the same design. And I don't hate that, because these color waves are wild and really cool looking. So, you know, I don't see a problem with that. I do believe some of these I already have. I'll have to check if I have them with this tire style or not. And again, with that 3D scanner, I'm going to be scanning these tires because I want different styles for my truck, different variants that I can have. I think that would be really cool. Here's a same mold as that other truck, but now we have a Rally 24-hour towing with a phone number on the front. I don't know, no area code though, so it's going to be hard to test and figure out where it's supposed to be from. 4561414. I don't know. I guess that's where you call if you need 24-hour towing from a monster truck. I like the racing stripe hood. I like that this is the first one I've seen where there's sort of 3 colors. The wheel hubs are a different color from the body, which is a different color from the tires. All the others, there's sort of a lot of crossover. Yeah, pretty cool. Again, this low profile they keep, I don't hate it. I actually think it's pretty cool, because when you hold it next to sort of a very standard looking monster truck at that time that was a bit taller, this is what watching monster trucks was like when I was a kid. There was a lot of variation in size, shape, wheelbase, everything. There wasn't the uniformity you see now, where there's only 2 or 3 chassis types that are typically used by everyone. So I kind of dig that. I think that's very representative of the era. And last, I have, so those were all Roadrunner. This is the lone Road Champs truck from the series, but it looks like it goes with the rest of these. It absolutely fits in with the set there. That said, let's get a look at it. I think this is a beautiful casting. I love the sort of shorter wheelbase. This one is a little bit taller in stance than those were. Has a very classic look. This looks like it would fit very nicely alongside, you know, your majorettes. I think it would fit very well with them. I think it fits really well with the Matchbox Superchargers series. They all kind of work together, and I love that about these toys back then, is they all were sort of interchangeable. So if you weren't buying the name brand Matchbox Supercharger, you could get a Road Champs or a Road Runner or a Majorette at like a CVS or like the pharmacy. You know, when your parents had to take you in because you had a cold, they wanted to get you a toy to cheer you up, they could get you a cheap little monster truck, and now you'd have this new colorful crazy monster truck to add to your set. How awesome is that? But yeah, Road Champs on the tires. Let's see. Does this company include a year? Oh, maybe. 1987. This, now, look at how minimal the damage on this toy is. Played with by 2 generations for nearly 40 years. 1987 this was made. That is awesome. And again, this has a different tread style. This one has a very similar to the Matchbox Supercharger style, but a lot more square. You know, the Superchargers were very sort of cartoonishly rounded. These are very square, and where the treads don't overlap, these overlap and sort of come back up in like a little bit of a J hook. So that's very interesting. I like the paint scheme. I like the design. I'm a little bit bummed that it is missing one headlamp on the roll bar, but I can probably make a replacement for that. So I'm not going to stress too much about it, but this one definitely stays in the set. This is not a double. This is the first time I've had this one. Gotta run. You've said more than I thought was possible about monster truck toys. That's who I am, Kerf. That's what I do. Thank you for coming and checking it out, and thank you for all your work on the human monster truck toy, available now at my merch table, and if you send me a DM, they're available as well. Thank you so much to the mighty @Kerf_Loss, Kerfloss, for his work on this. Be sure to check him out on Instagram. Thank you for stopping by the stream, my friend. And with that, I have actually completed the haul that I was sent. So I want to give one last shout out to the people who hooked me up and helped me out with this. The fan in Rhode Island who has asked to be anonymous about his gift giving, because he says he probably has more and he does want people asking about them. But thank you so much. I know he's going to watch this. These are awesome. I'm so psyched to add them to my set. Like I said, there are more in these boxes, and some of those may end up being gifts for people. Thank you so much to the mighty Kerfloss once again for his work on the human monster truck Perry Von Vicious toy. Very much one of the coolest pieces of merch I've ever had. So psyched to be selling these soon. Admittedly, I am keeping one of the originals for myself. That goes in the Perry archives for good. I couldn't part with all of them. And of course, thank you to our good friend, New England wrestling fan, Adam Cardoza, for this package of 200 Pogs. Very awesome. I love them. This is great. A great way to start me on recollecting these because I have lost all control of my life. Be sure to check out his band at DNA's Evolution on Twitter. Check them out. Thank you all so much for coming and hanging on this stream. I wanted to make sure I got one in early this week because in about a day and a half, 48 hours from now, I will be there. I will be checked into my hotel. I'm headed to Disney World. So I won't be having my regular stream this Tuesday. It'll be the first one I've missed since I came back from Japan, except for when I was in California to go to Disneyland. So whenever there's no stream, you can usually assume Disney's involved. Thank you all so much for coming and hanging out. If you're watching this after the fact on YouTube, leave a comment, like, and subscribe. If you made it this far in the video, I'm sure you enjoyed it. So I do stuff like this all the time. I've got the 3D printers that way over my shoulder there. I do a lot of work with those posted on here. I game every Tuesday on twitch.com/PerryVonVicious. You can follow me at PerryVonVicious on all social medias. And until then, you've been watching my dates scroll by. Come check me out at a live show. I'll be back in a couple weeks. I'm headed to Disney World. Thank you.